Yo, how's it going, everybody? Sentient back again with another one. Hopefully, you're having a good day and a good night. Today's video is gonna be a little different. Today, I actually want to make. I'm gonna attempt to make, and I'm gonna attempt to try my best to make a guide for one of my favorite gachas of all time, Punishing Gray Raven. Especially since we're probably gonna have an influx of new players who are eager to try out the game for specific reasons, right? Like upcoming events or upcoming new collab units, right? Like the Devil May Cry event, or Devil May Cry characters coming out. So we'll probably see an influx of that. So I'm making this video in an attempt to try to help you guys ease your way in, and hopefully it could help you in some sort of way. Again, I've never made a guide before, so this is my first time, so please bear with me. And I do all this in real time. I don't do edits on my channel when it comes to my video content. I like to try to make it more personal and whatnot. So, but let's get started. Before we dive in, though, I do want to bring up an important resource that I always recommend to beginners or veterans alike, and that's going to be the Gray Raven Wiki. I've been playing this game for almost about 4 years now, and I still need help when it comes to a lot of things. I don't know everything. I'm not a guru or anything. So anytime I need help, if I do not use look up specific content creators or specific guides on YouTube, for example, I come to this. I come to the specific wiki, and I've been using this wiki for a very, very long time. And it's evolved over time. It's community driven. It's made by community members, and they've done an excellent job making this. I don't work for them or work on the site personally. I use it a lot, so I'm just trying to promote it. It's a great resource for beginners, again, and veterans alike. It literally has like a roadmap for the game, which is not going to be relevant in the coming months. Once I'll explain this in the future as well, in a little bit, or a bit later. It literally has a lore as well for those, story heads like me that, want a quick synopsis or anything to, help you understand the story better. And if you click on each character too, it literally tells you, guides you and tells you, their optimal weapons, their cubs. It shows you optimal builds, and it even explains their kit a little bit, and what weapon resonances they could use too, which is insanely cool. So I will be putting that resource in the description for those that are interested. Again, that's the Gray Raven Wiki. I use it a lot. I think it's insane. But let's actually dive into the meat and bones of the actual game. Let me see. So I do want to talk about the menus a little bit. So the game, when you log in, when you log into the game today, or start playing the game in 2025, the game is gonna look specific, way, way different compared to when the game launched beforehand, or launched before. So the game had a significant UI / menu overhaul around a year ago, and it had little updates here and there as well that updated even more over time, which is crazy. So when I first played, when the update first came out, I was overwhelmed, to be honest. But it didn't take me long to get. It didn't take me too long before I got used to it. So, so again, as a beginner, don't feel bad for not being overwhelmed in the beginning by the menus and everything. I will try to guide you a little bit and show you a little here and there for the menus. Right here we have our character screens on where to go. And you could literally this is how you scroll through the characters. And on the side we have little icons that display the their specific character elements and whatnot, right? Or their specific yeah, their specific elements. What am I talking about? Like physical, fire, ice, lightning, dark, and nihil, or void. And then over here on the right, we actually could keep, if we want to dive deeper into the character builds and development, we have their evolutionary paths. This is, again, very different from when the game first came out. It looks completely different, right? It could literally show you the effects and like what you get with each duplicate of a character, right, as they evolve and get stronger. You have their awakening menu here, and as you awaken characters, they get obviously they get stronger. They get you also get free coatings, which is actually really cool as you level them up, which is really cool. You could get a portrait as well. You get their Ultima, and then if you get them to their what is it called? Their highest peak, you can unlock their Infinitas, which again, you could see stuff like this, like what to choose specifically in detail on. I don't think this is covered on the wiki, but I know a lot of specific content creators, for example, cover this and like what to choose and whatnot. So, and then here we have like the weapons section, like where to choose their weapons, where you could choose cubs right here. This is a training where to level them up. Their little skill menu here, you could look at their basic skills, what each specific orb colors do, right, or their basic attacks and whatnot. Some of these descriptions can get pretty lengthy, right? Like this is just the basic attacks, right? And if you look at this is a blue orb, yellow orb, red orb. Here you're gonna have their special skills, common effects here, and again, like the evolutionary effects when you actually evolve and get duplicates of characters. And that's about it. And then some units actually do get leap skills. Basically, like they get upgrades to help them like as the game goes on, which is really neat, actually. Besides that, though, last but not least, for the characters, we actually have their basic, like the build section, right? Or like in Genshin and like Star Rail system, like the artifact system, this is basically this game's version of it, right? The memory system. You can have their like each memory's resonance at the bottom and everything, and you could also click on each of them to go into more in-depth detail, level them up, and everything there. Same thing here with the memories. You could individually click on each one. You could specifically, they even have hypertune menus here and everything. And they actually have neat little quality of life features too, where you could like literally hypertune everything now, which is amazing. But yeah, that's about it for the character menus. Let's see. Here you have your top-up menus and everything for those that, you know, are spenders. We have our gacha system here, and usually when you get into the game, also, I haven't started the game in forever, so I know there's certain modes when, like, as you level up your account, there are specific restricted modes, like you won't unlock them right away until you level up your actual account. And again, if you want to look at your actual account, you could click on the top left. If you're playing on mobile, I actually don't know how that looks like, to be honest, because I've never played the game on mobile. Let me see. Anything I'm missing? If you click on the battle screen here, you're gonna find your usual, like, again, like another like main hub where you could like explore everything. You have your main challenges and everything. the main story, side stories, your little study hall. This is going to be probably very important for beginners, so we'll talk about this in a little bit. Actually, you have your resource page and everything. They even have a character shard section for those that want to grind out their A-class units. You could do that there. And we have basically our endgame modes over here in the challenge section. Again, we'll talk about these modes individually towards like the end of the video and whatnot. We have our dorm section over here, our guild section. You get the gist. So, let me see. What should we talk about next? Let me actually get a drink of water. So let's talk about the tutorial, right? So that's probably where a lot of us are going to start off to begin with. And to preface this, I'm not going to show you how to actually play the game, okay? This is where the tutorial, where I'm bringing up the tutorial, comes in handy. Not because I don't want to hold your hand and like guide you and like how to play with like each individual character or anything like that, but you can kind of get where I'm going with this. But that would just be too difficult. But with the tutorial in this game, there's certain games where the tutorials are just where they're just kind of, they're just bad, right? Let's just be real about it. Let's just say it. For example, like, I know Wuthering Waves, right? There's probably a lot of you that play Wuthering Waves. The tutorial in that game is not the greatest, but in this game, in the beginning, it was kind of, I guess it kind of was like basic as well. But as time went on, the tutorial in this game became, or it has become very, very good. Right? Like, how should I say this? First of all, you could like literally individually choose a tutorial and how to play that specific character, right? And it literally, I mean, it literally just guides you, right? The tutorial nowadays, again, compared to back then, is so much better. Where like it literally, again, it teaches you the character's abilities, step by step. It teaches you their abilities, and it literally also guides you in how to do specific combo routes now, which is insanely cool. But again, like, this doesn't cover like everything. So again, if you wanted to go more into depth, you could use the wiki, or you could use the or specific content creators. And then there's a lot of content creators that cover this. But yeah, you could literally dive individually into specific characters, right? S rank characters, the A/B rank characters, even uniframes here. Heck, they even have the collab units, right? From the near collab, the Blackrock shooter event. They teach you how to, like, this is actually pretty new, actually, to be honest. They just added this not too long ago, like an effect tutorial for individual specific elements and classes. And last but not least, you could also have like you could actually fight specific enemies. Like if you're having a hard time like against like a certain boss, for example, like for me, I've kind of just never been good at fighting. For example, I've never been good at fighting the twins. Till this day, like, I kind of like just try to like beat the boss as quickly as I can and just to get through it. But heck, if I wanted to, I could literally just hop in and I could even customize the boss to how I see fit. If I want them to have like a certain intensity and whatnot, how much like damage they do, how much health. It gets really, it's really good. Heck, even Trailblazer, I'm not the brightest against Trailblazer, but They have a lot of bosses and a lot of enemies you could fight and like specifically practice against. It's all here. Like even basic enemies, specific uniframes as well, or like bosses for uniframes, which is pretty cool. But moving on, let's see. Let's talk about the
You should play some.
let's talk about the story a tiny bit. I'm not gonna go into detail about the story too much, to be honest. But okay, for those story heads, I personally, I think the story in this game is insanely good. It's a post-apocalyptic story and whatnot. I will say though, if you want to get into this game, it does take a little bit of time. It has a slow start. That's what I'm trying to say. The story in the beginning was really, man, it was really slow, to be honest. It wasn't the greatest, but it gets better. Okay, I promise you, the story gets insanely good if you could at least get past like, man, I'd say if you get past like the first, I'd say chapter 6. Everything above chapter 6 for me was so much better. Some even say like chapter 8, but I actually enjoyed like 7 through 8 actually. But everything after that, the story just gets so good. Like I promise you, like it gets crazy good. And again, I would give you like a little synopsis, but I don't even know how to begin to like even talk about it. It gets really good. And you know what? There's a lot of story. So again, for you story heads, like it's gonna be it'll be a ride. That's what I'll say. Especially with like, man, it's a grim story, but it's like once you get to the moments where like things start going like the way of like, I guess like for the main characters and whatnot, then it starts like kicking in. It like I start getting that adrenaline rush feeling and whatnot. So it's like, heck, even like the latest chapters that I just like sped read, man, crazy good content, man. Like the stories are so good. But again, visual novels are not for everybody. So so let's move on. Let's talk about the gacha, right? That's a big part of like any gacha game, right? So let's see. So as you can see here, there are a lot, and I mean a lot of banners. So I will slowly break them down here for you. So if you're a beginner, or if you, first of all, if you're free to play, or a low budget spender, I personally recommend spending or like using your summons and resources on this specific banner right here, the themed event construct banner. Here, you can't go wrong with using your resources here. And a cool thing to note about the gacha system in this game, when a new character debuts, you've probably already heard this already, but when a new character debuts, they get a 100% rate up. So you will get the guaranteed character you want, or that specific character, guaranteed, right? Like heck, like Lucia is still there, and like she's she's part of the first half of this integrated update, which is really cool, right? Nobody likes the 50-50 system, and if you do, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, the pity does go up to 60. Pity does go up to 60, and the rates are. I've personally never had crazy luck when it came to pulling early in this game, but I've seen a lot of instances where other players have. So it just depends on the person, right? So if I come over here, we could talk about the let's see, the rates. These are the rates, right? The base drop rate is 0.5, which is not good, but with the guarantee, it goes up to 1.90, which is okay. But yeah, having that guarantee is insane. So anytime a new unit comes out, they will be right here on this themed event construct banner. Now, this other banner, again, this one is where if you're a spender, this is probably where you want to, like, you know, put your resources. But then again, like, I'm not gonna lie, if I spent money in this game, I probably still wouldn't even use this banner. I probably would still use this event themed banner. The only thing this banner does is increases the base drop rate for units to drop, right? So if I come over here, I'm pretty sure it'll show it. Yeah, you see the base drop rate will increase from 0.5% to 1.5. But the catch with that is that they increase the pity from the banner over here, which is 60 pity, to 80 pity. 80 to 100 pity, actually. So if you're a gambling man, this is probably the banner for you. But again, if you're if you're a free-to-play or a low spender, avoid this banner. Or avoid these type of banners, or like the Fate banners. Right? That's my recommendation. And this arrival banner it's basically the standard banner of this game, right? So, wait, actually, no, take that. I'm wrong. No, ignore what I just said. This is not the standard banner. This is where the other event-themed characters drop, okay? That aren't the debut characters. Again, this is like where they put the debut characters. This is where they put other limited characters. Apologies for that. Sorry. So again, it's the same thing with this one. This one has the same thing too, a Fate Arrival banner. And if you are ever interested in characters like this, again, now you know what the Fate banners are, right? Those are for spenders. So if we go down to the next section of banners, we have this is basically the standard banner now. We have our standard character banner here, which you could actually choose and summon specific units you actually want, which is really cool, right? Because, for example, Yata is within this patch. She is a debut character. You get her 100%. And this banner over here actually uses different, I call them blue tickets and whatnot. But, yeah, she's a debut character, so she's 100% right up. But again, if you miss any, or you're looking for a specific, like, A-class unit or whatnot, you could literally go and choose specifically. You could even, like, organize it how you want, which is insanely cool. And again, pity on this banner is 60. And I actually do have a tip. I have a tip for you guys on this one. We have a new upcoming patch dropping probably within like a week or so, and with that new patch dropping, we're getting a banner reset. So what I'm talking about is when you first hop onto the game, like right now, you're going to have you'll be able to choose a specific S-class character, and you'll be able to choose them and get them 100% guaranteed. So I'm bringing this up because with the new upcoming patch, again, that's dropping in like a week, it's going to reset. Now, and it's gonna like allow you to choose another one. Because I've already used mine, mine's not appearing here. It'll usually appear like right here, or somewhere. So it's not gonna stack when it gets renewed again. So I'm bringing it up so for those that actually hop into the game beforehand, you could actually use it, get a guaranteed character, and then when it resets again, you get another guaranteed character. So make sure before this new Ishmael patch drops, you try to use that 100% selector you have for the standard target better. That is another tip I'm giving beginners. Make sure to use that because that'll be a very big waste of a chance, or like using and choosing a really good character. And then here we actually have the weapon banner. Here you could literally do the same thing, or it's literally the same as the other ones. You could pick and choose specific weapons you want. Now, unlike the characters being 100%, unlike the characters being like 100% guaranteed, the weapons are not. They are 80%. You have an 80% chance to get the weapon. Now, it wasn't too long ago. I think it was actually... Was it this patch? It might have been this patch. I think it was this patch. But they changed it where if you fail to get your designated weapon, you'll... the following weapon... Or the new update makes it so that if you fail to get the weapon, your weapon of choice, now the following weapon afterwards, it's basically guaranteed. It wasn't like that before, which is crazy. And then we have our basic research. On this banner, if you get little blue tickets, you might as well just, use them. I don't think you literally have to save them for anything. I usually just hit send the moment I get any copies of it and whatnot. Now, here we have our Uniframe banner. Excuse me. Now, here we have our Uniframe banner. So now, there's a lot of tips for this. Specifically that the, Uniframes aren't used in a lot of modes. Specifically, like, core modes. Like, usually Uniframes are used a lot in, like, guild missions and whatnot, or again in specific modes. So, it's kind of recommended for, specifically if you're free to play also, or a low budget spender, that you don't use this banner too often, unless you want a specific character, that is, right? That's totally up to you. But, in my opinion, if you get a Uniframe character, I would only take them up to, like... Man, where are the Uniframes? It's this, right? Yeah. If you get a Uniframe character, I would recommend you to take them base minimum up to S rank. But obviously they come at S rank if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could check. Does it say? Yeah, they actually come base S rank, so I guess I'd say get like at least one copy of the character and you should be solid. Sometimes there's like specific arcade anima, like there's a specific like little side mission. Where is it? There's specific side missions over here. Like for example, this is very specific. No one has a specific specific challenges within this arcade anima where I personally at S if I had him at S rank, I would not be able to beat the content. But this is very specific. Other than that, I probably would recommend you again to just stick. Don't summon on those banners too much, and I guess base minimum at least get like one copy of the characters, and you should be solid, and you should be able to beat all the content that all the Uniframes like use, right? Or all the content that they're usually in. Like you should be able to like beat it like swimmingly. Like you should be fine. So I'd say base minimum, get one copy. Or if you're feeling spicy, try to get them double S. I personally get them to double S because it makes them feel kind of cozy. I like the damage they output compared to like having it at S. But that's just me. I personally would only recommend at S. But moving on. Here we have the last banner. We have the C.U.B banner. Now, again, it's the same thing here. When new C.U.Bs debut, they are 100% rate up, which is insanely cool. And you could do the same thing here. You could literally select all of the banners and all the specific C.U.Bs you would want, right? If you like Bianca, you could literally choose Bianca's C.U.B, or so on and so forth. And when they debut, they're 100%. But I probably would not recommend using or like too much of your resources on this banner. In my opinion, this is a tertiary damage source for your characters. If you're planning to like go all in or whatnot, if you're like a spender, then you have no need to worry. But if you're free to play, then I would wisely just like, you know, be cautious with this banner as well. It is like, I mean, the damage is like, I say it's tertiary. It's a tertiary banner because I just think it's like a nice little it gives you it's a nice little commodity that it adds to your gameplay. Like it helps ease everything. Like C.U.Bs in this game help you like gather enemies. They do like a tiny bit more damage and whatnot. They help buff your main characters. It's not something that's insanely mandatory, but it's just there just in case you have the resources for it, in my opinion. So I wouldn't spend an insane amount on these banners either. But if you could get like a copy of like, you know, like for a specific character, like their signature C.U.B, like for example, like Lucia, this is her specific C.U.B, right? Pirate Oath's C.U.B. If you can get them, like, and if you have the opportunity, then go for it. Again, when they debut, it's 100%. So yeah, that is the gacha system. It's very free-to-play friendly. I think it's great. Now, let's talk about the dailies and weeklies. Like, I could, like, literally show you, like, my daily and weekly routine. So I guess, like, for example, if I logged in, I probably would come over to my dorm, like, right away. I'll even show you, like, my dorm routine. I know I haven't talked about the dorms just yet, but actually, yeah, I'll just show you real quick. So my dorm routine would be like this. I would click complete event, this button is actually new, by the way, which is funny. I'd click this. I'd click dispatch all. I'd come over here to build. I'd click all of this. I'd specifically click these just like that. I bulk recycle. And then I click on this. And then I am done. I am done with my dorms. Easy peasy, just like that. Now, I will go into the dorm stuff and I'll go more specifically into the dorm stuff and like what you could do with them in a little bit. But yeah, like that's like and then from right there, where do I go next? I usually come right over here to the mission tab, and usually this is where you can see your dailies, your weeklies, event missions, and whatnot. And hidden over here in the bottom left corner, you have your Operation Guardians. These reset weekly, but right. So if I click any of these, it literally just shows you, right? You have your little missions you could complete here and whatnot. Very easy to do. All you have to do is just click these little numbers, like your little action points on the side, and it literally just, you know, it's kind of like Monopoly a little bit. And then sometimes you roll into like a battle sequence, and sometimes you don't. But your goal in this one is just to like complete these little missions down here, like complete your battle missions, get three supply crates, which I haven't done yet, 3 abandoned warehouses, and you literally just need to roll on them, and that's literally it, right? Now what is another daily? Let's see. So if you come up here to the battle section, a big part of the game, and actually like the main, like it's probably like the meat and potatoes of the game actually. These are like your main like content modes. That being Warzone and Pain Cage. Now these are very important modes because obviously besides let's talk about it. So in these modes, again, back then, this is completely different. They've modified and changed this from back then. There was like 5 difficulties back then, and they changed it now where it's only 3. So in Pain Cage, you actually fight just bosses and whatnot, specific bosses each week and whatnot. The lineup for the bosses will actually change, right, every Monday. And you can actually see what bosses will be in each lineup if you click the little category like Beta, Alpha, and then the Group Y. It's all there. But yeah, you're just trying to fight bosses, trying to like do like you're just trying to, how do I say this, get as much points as you can while trying to just perform well, trying not to get hit, do as much damage, and I wouldn't say it's like a stylized mode, but it's, you know, you're just trying to like accumulate as much points as you can. So kind of like a boss rush like mode a little bit, right? But you're just trying to get as much points as you possibly can. And with that though, they even have like rankings over here, to be honest. I never personally like look at the rankings. I don't play for rankings. But when you play and get higher scores, you actually get better rewards. So I guess that's a good incentive, right? To like play better. So you'll actually accumulate phantom pain scars, and you get some black cards, you get some hypertune materials. Heck, you even get some nameplates if you like get up here. I don't even have those yet. Damn, dude. But yeah, the big resource here are the phantom pain scars. So if I come back over here to the main menu, with those scars, you could actually use them to go to the Phantom Paint Shop. And here you could buy S rank shards to get characters, or like get dupes for your characters, right? Get enough shards and you could basically get a copy of a character, right? But one thing to note about this, once you get like use all 30 shards, or like buy them all out, that's it. Like there's no more. After that, you would have to, like, if you want more dupes of a character, you would have to summon more on the actual banners. And you can actually use them on the A rank Omni frames here, but I personally do not recommend doing that. I would 100% use of pain scars on here, on the S ranks instead. You could even use them like for weapon harmony, but again, I never use it on this ever. But again, if you are like an insanely crazy cracked player and you have like an insane amount of scars, then then you do you. But I personally recommend to use them on the like S ranks. Now let's talk about that was Pain Cage. Now let's look at Warzone. Now in Warzone, this one is kind of like how do I say this? I know Wua's kind of like doing the same thing right now with this a little bit. But in this mode, you're trying to just play, and it's another scoring mode, to be honest. You're trying to, like, kill waves of enemies. What's the name of that mode? It's the... Is it Whimpering Wastes in Wua? I think that's what it is, right? It's basically like that. You're just killing waves of enemies, and waves of enemies, and trying to get a really good score. And that's basically it. But here, like, again, the UI is completely different. You could specifically choose, like here, for example, is the Nihil, right? If you play, like, a Nihil, like, construct or a Nihil character, they get buffs here, and it literally tells you the descriptions and everything. This one, for example, is physical, so we'd want to use physical here. Right. And again, this place has rankings as well. Has missions. And again, it has its own specific shop as well. I have like 32,000 of these things. And with the workshop, you could like buy memories and honestly, these three resources are crazy good too. With the especially these right here, the 6-star memory resonance. These are I usually try to like save my resources to get these. These are really good. You could literally choose like a specific resonance material, a specific memory or resonance stat on a character's memory. Like if I could just show you, for example, let's come over here. Where is it? Oh my god, I'm like really dumb right now. Apologies. Oh my god, what am I doing? Let me see. Where is it? So yeah, when you're hyping tuning your characters, you could choose specific stats, and that's what that little item basically is. So if I wanted to like click, if I wanted a specific stat or whatever on a character, that's what those little things are for. So I've been kind of hoarding those, and I always save up for those, right? Like if I wanted to have like her signature to be better, or her core passive to be better, or her attack to be better. That's literally what it's for. And again, the Grey Raven Wiki talks about that. I see a lot of content creators talk about that specifically. So that's what I save my resources on that for. But again, it also has Uniframe crystals to help level up your Uniframes, Leap wafers, basically these little upgrade resource for your characters. But yeah, that's basically about it for like your dailies and weeklies. There's so many modes, but those are like the basic like dailies and weekly one. Clash is here too. Clash is one of them. Clash is another one. And whatnot. It's basically the same thing. You're fighting specific enemies and whatnot. And you know, and then once you beat it, you literally get rewards. You literally get a lot of hypertune materials, which is going to be essential for building your units. Like, you definitely would want to do this mode as well. But this one resets bi-weekly, so this one gives you a bit of time before it resets. And then other than that, we also have Norman. And Norman Revival is the other one, and this one resets. I think it resets every like bi-weekly too, like around that time frame. And again, these are more like, I would say Clash and like Norman are probably like, they're like more of the harder daily, you know, like weekly content and whatnot. But it's not too bad. Look, when you start building your units and whatnot, you can start being able to do this. These modes actually got insanely easier compared to like back then. I remember when I first played Norman for the first time, dude, I could not beat it. It was so hard. But now it's a lot easier, especially with like a lot of the stronger units now. And the good thing about playing Norman, it gives you resources to, it gives you a lot of these shards right here. Besides, like, summon material and, like, the usual, like, good rewards, it gives you these ores. And you could use them to get copies for your cub, right? Just another way to get dupes for your cubs and whatnot, or, like, upgrade them, which is really cool. But those are the 4 basic daily/weekly modes, right? Or bi-weekly modes, right? Let me see. So, I should have probably put this in the beginning. But the game also has a beginner guide system. Now, I'm probably gonna... I'm a butthead for this, but I haven't even done this mode since its inception. Since it came out, I haven't even done this. But this mode basically helps. It basically helps. How do I say this? It basically enables veteran players to recruit. I think it's 3 recruits or 3 beginner players, and the veteran basically helps you, like the beginner players, accumulate EXP and level up their account faster. But while that's also happening, you also get resources, or you get summon material, or basic summons, which would be my incentive to do it, but I couldn't be bothered. But if you're a beginner, this is a great resource and a good mode. I would definitely use it. I would definitely do it for sure. So, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll do it, but don't count me on that. But that's a good little nifty mode. Excuse me. So, let's talk about dorms next. Dorms are very, very important. You wouldn't think so, right? But they give you a lot of... Okay, first of all, they give you a lot of bases. They gave you 4 bases. Or now they give you 4 bases, right? Again, it's different compared to back then. So you could have, like... Man, you could have a lot of bases. Or a lot of, nodes. And obviously, you could customize them how you see fit. This is where you put your little chibis and everything. Right? I personally don't go too ham on this. Like, usually you're supposed to play specific units according to their comfort, utility, or beauty. I personally don't go too hard on that. And all it does is, like, it helps... I think it helps them increase their mood a lot faster. and whatnot, right? Like their stamina like gain, their stamina recovery, their mood just gets better quicker, depending on like what type of like environment they're placed in. But I personally don't care about that too much. I personally use the dorms for I personally use them for the my dailies, which gives you resources. I use them also for or the dorms are also a good way to get free skins. Now I know a lot of you guys who doesn't like free coatings, right? If you could like accumulate these gold coins, you could use them to buy these coding sketches. And then with enough coding sketches, for example, if I come over here and buy these, I have 20 of these now, right? And if I come over here, back to the shop, let's go back to the shop, go to the exchange section, and go to codings. And once you accumulate 25 of these codings, you could get one coding blueprint. And with that coding blueprint, right after that, you could come over to the coding shop and you could redeem free skins, free codings for your characters, which is very sick. Now, some of them are pretty basics. Like, I don't even have all of them either. But some of them are really, really cool. Like, these are, like, came out, like, a few patches ago. These are really nice. Heck, even Watanabe has one. This one's badass. And yeah, that's basically a little cool incentive to use the dorms. But that's not all. The dorms actually give you, every now and then, Kuro puts in, when a new character comes out, sometimes they come, or like they're only, or like another way you could obtain them free to play is from here, from the dorms. Like if you come over here to the dispatch area, not only can you buy, you can also buy weapon blueprints, just like the coatings. It's just like basically the same thing. You can get weapon coatings too. You could get hyper crystals, which are, or the hypertune crystals, which are very good. You could buy all sorts of stuff here, but you could buy some of the top meta units, which are actually still meta, right? Like Wanshi Lucid Dreamer, you could get like a free copy of him from here. Alyssa Echo, and even Ayla Kaleido. So that basically gives you incentive for the dorms, right? Those are like my two incentives for the free coatings and for besides the resources, also the characters when they actually do drop and they get placed in here. But that's every now and then though. But that's the incentive for the dorms. Very easy to set up. Let me see. What have we not talked about? I kind of went over it already, but the C.U.B system. Again, I personally think this is just a tertiary means to, like, you know, for damage and just another, like, quality of life feature to, like, enhance your gameplay, right? So a lot of these, like, for example, help you like gather units, they help buff your units and everything, but and I think I heard too that if you're free to play, if you do want a copy of a C.U.B, you don't really have to go past S rank. So I mean, I could kind of see that. I personally like to try to get them to double S, but that's me being crazy. You don't have to follow me. But if I were to recommend it, yeah, I guess I'd say once you're starting off onto the game, or until you start getting, like, accumulate resources, then you could try to get double S or, like, build them higher. I personally would say get them to, like, if you want a copy, just get the copy, and then you don't have to level them up for, again, until you get resources. But once you, I could try to, like, show a little bit of stuff, right? Like, here's how this looks. Again, like, a lot of these are used to, like, help you do, like, a little bit of damage, or help gather units. And you could, like, choose, like, specific paths, right? Like, both of these are different. And then some of these over here, like, their passive skills, usually they say, you want to, like, they usually have, like, a little signature, like, C.U.B skill, Usually want to choose that as like the first priority, and then the second priority is to choose like the carrier's elemental damage increase, right? Like this is this is Alyssa's cub, for example, and she's physical, so I choose the physical damage increase. And then after that, it would be, I think it's this other one, like this, like another like cub skill, and then the fourth like one after that would be like to like give you flat DPS, or like a flat like attack increase, right? So like the priority will be the signature, the elemental damage increase, another like cub skill, and then the flat attack increase, and then the fifth one, you know, whatever's left. But yeah, that's about it. The little menus are about the same as like the character ones. They have like an evolution menu, a skill menu. You can literally pick and choose which skills you actually want to use, which is really sick, right? Like I specifically chose these again. But yeah, that's about it. And again, I feel like that stuff's tertiary. It's not like mandatory or as important like as of getting like a character's signature weapon. I would say like if you had the opportunity, get the character and then pull their signature over getting like a cub. Those two are obviously more important than getting the cub. So next, let's talk about guilds. Again, kind of like the dorms. It's just another way of getting resources, in my opinion. Here, you could gather up like a community of, you know, a community of PGR players to like be in a guild and whatnot. You get your daily rewards and everything. Like I haven't even redeemed mine here and whatnot. You could customize it how you see fit and everything too. Usually when you log into the game, you could come over here to the there's usually like a little machine, right? And it has like a little gift above its little head. Usually if you click that, it gives you some free resources. And I don't see a lot of people talk about this either. If you actually go to the machine like enough, it actually gives you summons. Like every other session, I don't know how many sessions, I'd say maybe like every 4 or like 5 sessions. I don't know if it's guaranteed or not, but every few sessions, it literally, you could sometimes get summon tickets, which is very cool, like the little blue tickets. So I'd probably recommend, I recommend to, like, as soon as you log in, come over here, and then just like talk to the computer. Heck, they even have like little gifts over here if you can see in the distance. If you go to that, it literally gives you like basically money just for like sitting down and like interacting with the environment. Very cool. Right? 10,000, 10,000, it's 10,000. But what else? Again, like everything's like, because I'm the guild leader for here, I could literally customize everything, right? Like I could customize like what theme and like menu like with the guild to experience. Like I could choose like a specific style. You could change the thematic music in here too. Let me see. But most importantly, like the main thing for the for guilds, you're going like according to here. And each of these little nodes gives you specific traits and bonuses to help you increase your guild score. Now, where is it actually? I can't even tell you actually, but you could be competing with other guilds, actually increasing your guild score. Where is it? Is it this? Bro, I'm a terrible guild leader. I don't even know where it is. But anyway, there's you're competing with other guilds for you know, to climb the leaderboard, and the higher the point, the higher the points, the better rewards you get. And uh, again, like this mode literally has its own type of shop just as well. So we come back to the main menu. Um, where is it? It's the bureau shop, right? You could literally buy music for the guild in here. You could literally buy those little thematic maps, like I said, and you could buy resources. Here, you could also get uniframe shards. Another good incentive to be in a guild, right? If you don't want to like spend on those banners, you could literally just get uniframe shards from here. But not only that, you could get hypertune materials here, right? And again, like hypertune materials are very they're that resource that's very scarce once you start, and then they start accumulating the more you play the game. So essentially with these, you want to try to get these when you can. If you see events or modes that specifically like show you that these are available, you want to get these, because they will like definitely increase your character's damage like tenfold. They'll definitely like your character damage will get like a sky high. Now the video is getting kind of long, but we are almost done. So sorry, I like going into depth into these things, but I will timestamp all of these. So the next subject is, does this game have meta? And the answer is yes, it does. And it's actually kind of a lot of the newer units in this game are actually way stronger compared to their predecessors, right? So not only that, like with each like gen and like each new with each new generation of characters, like Gen 2, Gen 3, they get significantly more abilities, more strength, and whatnot. For example, Gen 2 units are they introduced when they introduced Gen 2 units, they allowed you to be able to time stop. So there are specific units like when they, like for example, let me just show you an example. Like Liv, for example, is a Gen 2 unit, and when she first came out, she honestly she's still insane. She's still a crazy good unit, but she's about to get superseded by the new Vera pretty soon, right? I think the new Vera is like the new amplifier, but Vera's like the Gen 3 fire unit coming out. But for example, when Liv came out, they introduced with Gen 2 units going forward time stop. So for example, that means like when they go into their ultimate or they go into specific moves, the actual in-game timer actually stops, right? So that actually matters when it comes to certain like events and modes, obviously to help you get higher scores or beat, you know, certain content. So if you were a newer player going into the game, you could like I would say you probably wouldn't want to be summoning unless you absolutely love the character. Again, I'm only giving you my recommendation. So for example, if you were to start the game today, or if I were to start the game today, if I was gonna build a, actually let's come over here to the Gacha banner. Like if I wanted to like start the game today, and I wanted to like uh, pull any new units, I personally would pull these units first, right? Because first of all, they're meta units, and they're insanely strong. They have like certain things that the previous generation of units do not. So keep that in mind when you do, like, if you are interested in older, like, Gen 1 units or Gen 2 units, is that they're not going to be as strong as the newer units. So in this game, there is meta units. There is kind of power creep, to be honest, but um, just keep that in mind. But again, the cool thing with this game is that it's insanely free to play friendly, and if you actually do your dailies, do your weeklies, go through the modes and everything, you'll be able to get a lot of these units just by playing the game, right? Unless your savings for like the DMC collab, right? Then you could save for them and like make them insanely OP. But uh, moving on. Now that we're talking about modes a tiny bit, let's just go over here. I'm gonna just briefly touch on it because I know we're making this insanely long. Let's talk about the endgame content. Where is it? There are a boatload. There's a boatload of endgame content in this game. There are a lot of permanent modes, a lot of endgame content. So again, these are like our usual, like I said, our usual dailies, weeklies, bi-weekly modes. I would disregard co-op. Co-op is, well, I mean, you don't have to, but co-op is going to disappear already. It's going to be gone forever. But they're going to give you another way to like earn the contents from this in another way pretty soon. Excuse me. Excuse me. So the other endgame modes, these are all the endgame modes, or a lot of the endgame modes. Memory Rescue was like one of the first ones, right? I remember when this first came out, man, this was tough when it first came out. But again, it gives you resources to do. You can literally see the resources at the bottom. You could change this right here as well. And funny thing is, this has a story behind it, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the story is gone already, or it's about to be gone. Yeah, Kuro's completely removing the story, because the story wasn't that amazing, but it's gonna be gone. Stronghold. Stronghold is actually still being updated every now and then. And funny enough, I'm not even done with it either. Like, they updated it not too long ago, and they added more modes. So every now and then they do add more. But obviously, as you go on this, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. And you could literally see the resources at the bottom. And it's basically the same. It's just get through like the mode and you're solid. Put in like a certain amount of teams, meet the prerequisite number, if you can, and just try to beat the mode, right? It's basically gives you like the recommended power level right here. But yeah, as these modes go on, they do get a little bit beefier. Like sometimes the enemies can probably one-shot you, or get very close to doing that, right? But a lot of resources here. Mindscape is, let me see. I don't know why it's showing me this. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing me this right now. I guess it's been a long time. I already did all that. But another endgame mode here. But with these, you could actually use this to, if you beat these, you could actually use it to get that extra damage bonus on your characters. So let me see if I could find... Let's go up here to Lucia. And let me go to... Where is it? Here. No, it's not that. It's this. It's the damage pact. So, if you complete that mode, like each of those nodes in that event that I was saying, you could literally, it literally gives you a damage bonus going forward for all your characters, right? For all their memories. So all of that will add up eventually, right? Especially like if you think about it, like so 1% here, here. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's 12% extra damage. So in the long run, that's gonna be good. That'll help you with your units. Help you again. Another way to help beat content, and just beating that itself too will. I think it gives you resources. Hold on, it's been a while. I can't even remember. Does it? Maybe it doesn't, but this is still a good mode to do, okay? Make sure you do both of these modes. I think the other mode, I don't remember. I don't remember what this one does, to be honest. But again, you want to, like, you definitely want to do this. It's basically, like, the same thing. Is it this? Complete the challenge on the station to increase skill level? Damn, I'm terrible, huh? I don't even remember this. I mean, I don't remember if it, like, skill level? Just do it. That's all I'll say. Just do it. And then Golden Vortex is another one. This one, it just gives you, I guess it's like an event with a story behind it. Very cool mode. And the Lightning and Thunder mode is basically kind of like another version, or a better version of Golden Vortex, in my opinion, with story, but it focuses specifically on the Cerberus team, right? With Vera and the team. So we have those modes right there. And again, Golden Vortex and Lightning have story behind them. But these are my personal favorite endgame modes, or permanent content. All of these have story. These are like the roguelike modes of the game. Insanely fun modes. Give these a try. A lot of these actually give you, for example, this one gives you, or this is where you could get your free Selena. This is where you could get a free Ayla costume, or a free Ayla coating. Same thing in here, you could get a free coating at the very end for 21. And you get a lot of summon materials and resources doing these modes. So you can't go wrong getting any of, like, playing any of these. And you even get what are they called? Portrait frames. And you get little goodies every now and then. So very fun modes. Awakening Tundra is the latest of the, the latest iteration of those. So I haven't even finished it personally either. But yeah, there's that. You have all of those endgame modes again, plus all the and you know what? They constantly add more all the time. So if you ever do get completely caught up, there's you don't have to worry for too long, because usually they add another permanent mode like not too long after. But again, usually you want to hit do any of these when you're kind of caught up on, the basic necessities of, like, all the other, like, basic stuff with the game. Right? Like, if you have nothing else to do, like, you wasted your energy, then, yeah, you could basically do those. So we're basically at the end of the video. I do have, like, besides all the positives with the game, and, like, again, this is my favorite gacha, but I do have to talk about a bit of the negatives, right? And a lot of the stuff that maybe beginners or a lot of people probably wouldn't like. And I I don't have too many prompts here, but I will for starters say, again, I brought it up with the story. The story starts off insanely slow. The story is very slow. So it's... And if you're a story person, I think up until, like, chapter 6, man. Like, if you could get past chapter 6, you should be good. Man, I can't even find it. Because I personally... I need to go back and, like, actually reread this stuff. It's been, like, ages. But after you get past chapter 6, I personally think the story takes a turn and it starts building upon its own and starts becoming its own thing. And the story just gets just so much more better. It gets so much more better in the storytelling and whatnot. So just keep that in mind. Another negative I'd say is that the game, it's a visual novel game, right? Like the story is a visual novel. And again, that's not for everybody. Not everybody likes to read and whatnot. But not only that, but with the visual novel, it's also not... It's not voiced, and it's not animated, right? So it's not the greatest visual novel experience. The only time that it's animated or voiced is specifically on certain, like, character codings. For example, like, right here, with Crimson Weaves, like this coding, for example, like this story itself is, like, if I could just spam through this real quick, it's voiced to a certain extent, and it's animated. They actually make the little PNGs actually animated, and then certain, like, stuff is actually voiced. Like if you have it, like, on a certain, like, if you have it on a certain... Funny enough, it says it's voiced, but I can't hear it because I guess they didn't, like, make it, the English language... I have it on English. That's why. So if you go to, like, I'm assuming if you go to, like, CN... I haven't tested it on JP, but if you go to CN, it definitely... It's voiced. But yeah, that's just another, like, two little things. It's not animated, it's not voiced. So that could be, like, a little... That could be a bummer, for sure. Another big one is that it's probably... Like, this game, its orb system, when it comes to the gameplay, is probably going to throw off people drastically. When I first played the game, I wasn't used to the orb system. But if you give it a bit of time, I think it'll grow on you. It literally did not take me very long before I found myself not even thinking about the orb system, and now I play the game as if, like, I'm playing, like, Wuthering Waves, like having, like, default set buttons there. So eventually you'll come to, like, get used to the orb system, in my opinion. And honestly, I personally think the orb system is a plus because it actually gives characters, in my opinion, a greater depth of move skills and, like, just a moveset in general compared to Wuthering Waves, where I guess, like, it feels like the kit limitations are, or, like, there's a certain, like, set, like, limitation. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but it feels like with the orb system in this game, it feels like they don't have a limit to, like, what they could do with a character kit. In my opinion. I know you can still do a lot in, like, Wuwa, but I feel like with the orb system, you can do so much more. But again, as a beginner, it's very daunting to, like, look at the orb system and trying to, like, read the story at the same time of the gameplay, like, trying to play the game, hit the orbs. Like, it could be kind of tedious and daunting. And this is the last negative I have for the game, but this one's more personal. I specifically think the codings in this game, and I know why they are. I know why. But I personally think the codings in this game are very, very expensive. And again, I know why they are. The game is insanely free-to-play friendly and whatnot. The game like literally gives you so much like resources. It gives you so much characters, content, a lot of freebies. This game is like again very free-to-play friendly. So they have to make their money somewhere, right? It like we can't have everything for free, right? Not everything could be like you know what I mean. But there are some gorgeous codings in here, and I would love to get them someday. But man, some of these codings cost like maybe $40 plus. Like they're insanely expensive. Like if I come over here to the top up area, like some of these codings are insanely gorgeous. Like for example, if we go over here to Watanabe, he just got a new coding and it's insanely cool. It's so sick. Yeah, there's so many badass codings, but they cost like an arm and a leg. But again, that's personal preference. I've always like, hey, once I make enough money, then I'll definitely start getting the codings. But that's like my little thing. That's a personal negative for me. But again, they have to make their money. Now, again, we're almost done. Now, for those that don't know, right now, the global version of this game is going through a global synchronization plan that launched late in 2024, and it's basically, in a sense, I mean, as the title says, it's trying to sync up with the global server to the CN server, right? So we could all be on the same like patch launch at the same time. We could be experiencing everything at the exact same time. So what's happening right now, for example, like in this version, we have 3 patches worth combined into one integrated patch. Yeah, and you could experience all that content right here at this little event hub and everything. So just keep that in mind. So like if you're like when you get in here and then you suddenly, once we're caught up, and then you suddenly only see like one character launching at a time, or you know, like the amount of events are kind of like different, then that's probably why, right? Like because it finally got synchronized and it's back to normal again, and we're caught up to China. But with that in mind as well, because we're catching up insanely quick, that leads me to one of my final topics, the Devil May Cry collab, which is gonna bring a lot of players, right? And the Devil May Cry collab is most likely gonna be launching in, I think, August. I think it's gonna be dropping around August time. And again, that's bringing Dante and Virgil. So with that timeline in mind, definitely save your resources, right, going forward. If you are looking forward to those characters. Now, if I remember correctly, they are like the way the banner is gonna work when it comes out. So when you summon, for example, you are getting a free Dante, but you're not getting a free Virgil. But when they come out on the banners, I think they're gonna have their own specific collab area, their collab section. Let's just pretend this is the collab section right here. So when you summon for Dante, and you actually get the character, you'll also get another free version, or another free copy, another free dupe of Dante, which is really cool. And you can do that twice. So I could go over here, summon Dante, get a copy of him, or get another free copy. I summon Dante, I get another free copy. And you could do that same thing with Virgil as well. So you could get a lot. Like, it actually helps you get the character to max rank a lot quicker. So just keep that in mind. So I think that's basically all I know about the characters. I don't even like I've seen their gameplay and everything, and they look insanely sick. They're gonna have their own events and everything. So again, they're launching around August, so keep that in mind. I'm not sure if I'm not sure how they're gonna do it because remember how I said like with the global the global synchronization plan. Like right now we have 3 patches worth. I'm not sure. Okay, so right now we have 3 patches. The next update's gonna have 2 events combined in one, and then the following that it's gonna have most likely 3 again. It keeps rotating 3, 2, 3, 2. But when the Devil May Cry collab comes out, I'm not sure if it's gonna be its own patch, like in like global, or if it's gonna be paired with another patch. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure how that's gonna go about since we actually don't know what's gonna happen as well. So I'm just as blind as you are when it comes to that. But yeah, that's basically about it, guys. I know this was lengthy. I talked my ass off. Basically an hour and a half of Sentient, an hour and a half of Chris just talking and blabbering about the game. If there are any specific issues, specific questions you have for me, or you need like any like help or support, or again any questions specifically about the game or like what you should be doing, feel free to like leave stuff in the comment section. I'd be down to help you. Or if you guys want to like add me in the game, I do play on global or on the global NA server. All my information is right here. I'll show it on the screen and flash it just in case you guys would like to add me. I'm always down to add more players to the game, more friends and everything. I never really fill up my friends list at all. I don't think I'm block. Oh, I am blocking. I'm a butthead. There's my info right there. As you can see. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if I missed anything, I know I took it like an hour and a half, but I still didn't even cover anything and everything in the game. Like for example, like the battle pass, I didn't even cover this. It's just like your usual battle pass. You could, you could literally just do your usual missions here. It has its own paid pass and everything. It literally has like 3 tiers of paid sections, actually. I personally have never bought any of the paid ones, but it does give you a lot of resources, more than the free pass, which is crazy. But again, yeah, if I missed anything, if you guys have questions, concerns, comments, leave them in the description. I'll leave timestamps as well. And I think that's it, guys. I don't think I'm missing anything. I'm again sorry for making this long. This was my first guide video, specifically on a game I love, so I kind of took a little bit more time on it. I didn't specifically show gameplay either. I was more talking about the systems and everything, right? The systems and like the modes and like what you could come to expect. But again, if you want to learn how to play the game, that Gray Raven wiki is there. I'll have it in the description. You could and there's always like unbelievably good like content creators like Rexlent or Spider2B. We have crazy good content creators that will guide and show you the way and like how to just play the game as well. Like they'll like go more in depth than I do when it comes to like actually playing characters. So definitely give them a watch as well. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. Appreciate you guys watching and chilling. If you guys got this far in the video, appreciate you watching. Even subscribing helps me out. If you guys ever want to watch me live, I play Punishing Gray Raven all the time. My stream's in the description for those that are interested. My social media is there as well. Everything relevant is in the description. I think that's it. I'm trying to think. Hold on. I had something come to mind, but now I can't remember. But yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just being a butthead now. Okay. Well, let's end this video. It's already an hour and a half. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. And again, if you have any comments, just please let me know and whatnot. And okay, I remember now. And if you guys like actually play the game, let me know what your experience is like. I would actually genuinely love to know as well. So that's gonna do it, fellas. Sorry for talking my head off, or talking your heads off. I'll catch you guys next time on the next video, and hopefully I could do more guides like this. I mean, we'll see how often I do this. Maybe I'll make one for Reverse 1999. Maybe Wuthering Waves. I probably will only make these for like gachas I actually play, or games in general that I actually play. This was a different way. I wanted to like actually make like I wanted to make a video, or I wanted to make videos that are different compared to all my usual reaction content or my my discussion videos. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to like make something to actually help people, especially with like the games that I love. So hopefully going forward I could do this, but they're not as long. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Latest, guys. You guys have a good one. Latest.